Everybody had a great Thanksgiving and is ready for the holidays. Just a reminder that there is no meeting next week. The meeting next week is going to be the senior luncheon, so hopefully everybody has a chance to join. It's a great event, it's a lot of fun, and we'll hear a little more about that from Sally. So our guest today,
yes.
I'm going to bring up the speaker chair.
Thank you.
One guest.
I'll introduce you.
Morning.
Great.
Good morning. It was dark when I left the house this morning. What's going on? So I'm very interested in our speaker today, Mary Kay Dennison, her topic. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Just coming off of Thanksgiving when maybe we were together with family members who have a little bit different views on things, which tends to happen around Thanksgiving. I mean, I grew up in a family. My father was a Republican, my mother was a Democrat. Never seemed to be an issue, but kind of it's becoming more of an issue. So I think this is very timely with the midterm election year coming up next year too. But let me tell you a little bit about Mary Kay Dennison, her topic. She is here representing Braver Angels, which I didn't know that much about, but we're going to learn today. Braver Angels is a national grassroots organization whose mission is to inspire and equip Americans to practice courageous citizenship through skill building, convening, and collaborative action. They envision an America where courageous citizenship is the honored norm, renewing civic culture and building trust across political differences. Interesting. Mary Kay Dennison is a volunteer ambassador for Braver Angels. And we're happy she's with us today. She's a former teacher, associate director in Peace Corps, Morocco, co-founder of a Vermont nonprofit, Puppets is Education, and a youth librarian at Brownell Library. Or quoting from Mary, I've been around a while. So please help me welcome Mary Kay Dennison.
Thank you, Faith. I think I can probably throw away one page of my little spiel there. That was a wonderful introduction of who Braver Angels is. I'm happy to be here and I realize that often Rotaries have what they call happy dollar. Do you do that? Okay. Well, I have a happy dollar. Before I go out at this early in the morning to a place I don't know, I'm happy, number one, if I arrive on time, and number two, if the GPS really works. Both those things happen, but I don't know who gets the dollar.
I'll take it.
Okay. And you know he's got it.
Those Japanese are so greedy.
Okay. What I'm not going to do today is talk about politics and which side's better and which side's worse. I'm not going to ask you for any money. And I'm not going to try to convert you. Braver Angels is not a religious organization. The name comes from Better Angels, which was a quote from Abraham Lincoln after the Civil War, that we had to call on our better angels to make things better and to get along better. That got changed to Braver Angels a few years back because it got to be pretty violent and people were really taking it out physically. We have to be brave. We have to be even better than better. We have to be brave.
You ready for your...
I'm ready for my first slide.
Ready. Let me put it up then. Good, because the owl is having a fit. And I'm getting seasick just watching the owl.
I don't know what the owl
That's you don't really need to, it's fine.
And Braver Angels, okay, that's over with. We're here.
Okie dokie.
So we're into Mr. Lincoln, and if I have to say something about those two gentlemen, I have nothing to say. Okay, this is, Braver Angels said one time, I don't like that man. I've got to get to know him better. This isn't a common quote of Lincoln, but it very much encapsulates the spirit of Brave Angels. It's about getting to know people better. If we don't know people, we don't work with them, we don't get anywhere in our political realm. If you're like me, not age and that kind of thing, but if you're like me, you're probably a little concerned about our politics right now and how we regard each other with our attitudes and how we get along with each other. Like she said, I'm Mary Kay Dennison. I've been around a while, but I started in this about 2020. It was during the pandemic when a friend of mine from Peace Corps days called and said, you know, I just watched this well, it wasn't a video, it was a film of the first meeting of Brave Angels, and I think you should watch it. I think you would be interested in it. I did. I was so blown away by how the 8 Republicans and the 8 Democrats came together in the course of a weekend in terms of being able to talk to each other, that I've been working with them ever since. Right now, I'd like to take a closer look at the personal cost of polarization, and in particular, effective polarization, which is the next slide. Okay. An effective polarization has to do with our attitudes and our feelings towards one another. And that really is what Brave Angels is about. Not putting people down because they have different ideas, but going with them, to them with questions of curiosity and finding out why they feel and think the way that they do. It's not just about the issues. It's been found in a study that was done by the Review of Political Science that over the last few decades, our feelings about our own party have stayed the same or even gotten a little bit better. But at the same time, our feelings about the other party have gone down. They seem alien to us, strangers, incomprehensible, unlikely to be unlikable, untrustworthy, and sometimes morally compromised. They are willing to do anything. They're willing to do anything to defeat the other party. And now, next slide. Working on our own idea, our own party, we're unwilling to admit few, if any, faults of our own. So therein lies the polarization. But the good news is, we've got a lot more in common than we might originally think. Let's look at our mission. You read the new mission. I'll start with the old mission. Brave Angels brings Americans together to bridge the partisan divide. We recently, last summer, got a new head of the organization who thought it was also important to not just get to be able to talk to each other, but to be able to do things together. So this is how the new one reads, and I think it's the same one you read. We inspire equipping Americans to practice courageous citizenship through skill building, which is what we've been doing all along, convening, and collaborative action. In fact, I learned at a recent online meeting that one of the partners of Brave Angels for this collaborative action is the Rotary. I don't know where they're doing this. They're not doing it here in Vermont, but if you have any, plans to do things that you think we could help with and get people to listen to each other to solve a community problem, we'd be glad to hear from you. Our pledge is to understand other people's point of view, to talk to them, ask questions of curiosity, get to understand what they're talking about, what they're believing, and why they're believing it. I don't know if any of you have had Thanksgiving dinners like I have in the past, but I was raised Republican. My oldest brother was Republican. very staunchly so, and the rest of us all kind of switched to the other side. And that was something that we just didn't discuss. But that's one of the reasons I got involved in this, because I thought it was important. I'm going to talk about this later, but the person who wrote this book, I never thought of it that way, Monica Guzman. She used to talk about being raised by Republican parents from Latin America, and she was very Democrat. And her parents came and talked to her at one point and said, "Are you ever going to refuse to let us see our grandchildren like our friends did?" And she said, "No, I would never do that." But that's how far it's gotten in some people's families. I hope that's not in your family, because I can't imagine not being able to see my grandchildren. Our rule seeks to engage those we disagree with by looking for common ground. I have well, I don't know, it's over there on that table, I think, if you could wave it up. When I first started this work, I was in very much my own political bubble, a Democratic bubble, had very few friends, no friends that were of the other side. And I thought, if I'm going to do this work, I've got to meet some Republicans and see what they think and what they're doing. So I got on and Googled and found out that the head of the Republican Party in my town had developed a whole program that was based on civil discourse, talking to people on the other side. So I called him up and I said, "I think we need to have a coffee together. I think we have some common ground." We've been working together ever since. One thing they've started doing is having a series of talks called the Olive Branch Series. And this is open not just to Republicans, but to anybody that wants to come. And it's, if you really don't know any Republicans at all, or you don't know any Democrats at all, you might want to reach out and try it out and see what you think. Braver Angels, okay, we look for common ground. We have equal leaders, red and blue leaders, all through the organization. We have a local Chittenden County Alliance that meets the first Thursday of every other month. And not to make this difficult, but the first Thursday in January is January 1st, so we'll be meeting January 8th. But it's open to anybody that wants to come. It's at the South Burlington Library from 6:30 to 8:30. We do have, when you come the first time, you're not an active participant, you're an observer. Until you learn the guide rules that we follow for our meetings, we ask that you just observe one time. And then if you want to become a member, become a member. We also seek to reflect everyone in the organization, regardless of race, ethnicity, rural, urban, any background. We're trying to build one united America, so we're looking for everybody. We have the same goal of membership, and the National does as well. People from all different backgrounds. How did we begin? This is, I think, an interesting story. This is the group that went through the first Braver Angels Red-Blue workshop in Lebanon, Ohio, my home state. And it started with David Blankenhorn in the top row, who called his friend David Lapp in the purple shirt right after the Hillary Clinton-Trump election of 2016. And the first David said to the second, what's the vibe out in Ohio? And David Lapp said, well, it's kind of cautiously optimistic. He said, what's it like in New York? He said, you could hear a pin drop. I think everybody's in total shock. And they said, with the kind of campaign that's been run and the high feelings people have about this, we're going to have to do some hard work if we don't want the whole country to fall apart. So then they called Bill Doherty, the one with his finger up like that, who happens to be a marriage counselor who works in the University of Minnesota. And he said, yeah, this is kind of like our country's close to a civil divorce. I'll work with you. So the other two said, well, we've got a workshop planned for Ohio with 8 Republicans, 8 Democrats, and we'd like you to come. He said, fine, what are we going to do? And they said, well, we're kind of hoping you'll figure out what we're going to do. So he designed the program. And I highly recommend it. That's what got me into this. It's still on the Brave Angels website. And it's their origin story, the first Brave Angels workshop in Lebanon, Ohio. They had some musical people there too. I don't know if you recognize anybody in the front row. You're an old enough group too. That's Peter Yarrow. And he was active in the beginning. He has since passed away, but he was very supportive, and he's the one that got my friend, who called me on the phone, into Brave Angels. So I'm indebted to him too, although I don't have a personal relationship with him, nor have I ever. That's how we began. Now, this was our early growth. We started with that first red-blue workshop in 2016. Then they did kind of like a Ben & Jerry's thing. They got a bus tour and went around the country to do the red-blue workshop that they had done in Ohio. And one of the people that asked them to come, you probably don't know her, but Shanna Ratner up in St. Albans. And they came and did the workshop there. And she and her Republican cohort started probably one of the first Brave Angels alliances in the country. And that was ongoing until last year, when all of a sudden they don't have any Democrats anymore. Ever since the Republicans won, the Democrats, I guess, got discouraged and they kind of dropped out. So we're hoping she'll get that up and going again. We have one, like I told you before, right here in Chittenden County, that's been going for, it started in about 1.5 years now. We've been in alliance. Okay, then they did formal structures. By that, they created workshops, braver politics, families in politics, how to cross the political divide, how to talk to other people. And those are skills workshops where you learn how to talk, listen, and also present your own viewpoints. People heard about it. They got a lot of coverage. That's still happening. I don't know if anybody saw the Judy Woodruff segment. It aired sometime this past week, where she went back to Ohio to see what was happening and talk to some of the people that were in that original group. Rising profile and braver politics was one of the newer things, but it's gotten to be all over the country now, not just nationally, but also locally. And again, the friend who called me from the Peace Corps days started Braver Politics in New Hampshire. And they got so into it after doing several workshops that they formed their own alliance in the legislature there. So we're hoping to do more and more work like that. We've divided into 3 categories. Grow Bravely, that's the workshops and the trainings. Pair Up Bravely, you can get on the Braver Angels website and get linked with someone that's of a different persuasion than you or has a different opinion on a certain issue, and you can talk back and forth with them. That you get linked up online. And Braver Angels gives you some kind of a guideline of questions you can ask each other. I did this with Republicans. I asked for a Republican and got a Republican from my old home state of Ohio, and I thought, well, I think I've been there, done this, but we did it, and it was very, not entertaining, but instructive. That's Experience Bravely is, you can go online and look at debates, you can go on and hear podcasts, You can go on and participate in meetings. There's a lot of really rich things to look for on the line. And the results, they get the results by getting an evaluation after each workshop. And what they found out was that we do reduce affective polarization. And if you go one more, 80% to 80% said that they had a better understanding and increase in positive attitude of the other side. And that's what we're working at. Continue. We're not trying to change the other person's leanings or what they're voting for. You can't change somebody else's mind anyway, but you certainly can't if you don't know them and there's been no trust built. All we're working at is the connections, building the trust, sharing ideas, and working on the issues together, not to convince you that you should be thinking like I'm thinking. Okay. I think we're getting towards the end. But what we do change is people's opinions of each other, their views of each other. And it helps people let go of some of the stereotypes they've had, any dishonest tricks of argument and that kind of thing. They can really relate to somebody else. And hopefully that'll help us find more collaborative solutions. One more slide and I'll quickly, imagine what we could do if we got this all down. This is on the left, you might know him as Dean Phillips. He's a Democrat from Minnesota. And the other person is Dusty Johnson, a Republican from South Dakota. And they are two that on the national level have tried to get some of this working across the aisle thing together. They've got a little bit more work to do, I think, but I'm not even sure they're still there. You can help us by, that's fun. Okay, they work with legislating, okay, we did all that. There, that's what you want to learn. I don't know anything about these little
QR codes.
picture things or whatever they are, but it does work to just go on and do braverangels.org and you'll come up with the whole thing. And it's free, anything that's on there is free. If you want to become a member, it's $12 a year, which isn't exorbitant. And it gives you access to a lot of very good information. I think that's all I have to say. Oh, no, I don't like that man, I gotta get to know him better. We have to come back to Lincoln. I don't know if you know the old adage, if you point to somebody else, you're pointing 3 fingers back to yourself. So if you're criticizing somebody else, you're also saying you've got work to do too. That's all, unless you have some questions.
Thank you.
Yes.
So,
Do you need this?
Yes.
Yes.
So I have something that confuses me about this. If Braver Angels believes, and maybe they don't, that we're all basically the same people with similar needs, then why, when you bring people into Braver's Angels, do you designate them as Democrats or Republicans?
That's a good question, and that's one that's been asked a lot. Oops. Been asked a lot to the new director that started last summer. If you're going to talk about bridging partisan divides, it's hard to track that if you don't know you got both sides there. So we keep track too. We want to have a balance. It's not like you come in and you have Republican or a Democrat on your shirt label, but you do want to make sure that you don't have so few Republicans in a state like Vermont that none of them want to come. So that's why we kind of keep track.
There's some similarities that I have. Do you recognize the other group, independents, in any way?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, in
Go
fact,
back one month.
the other group. It's going to be the group, I think, if it keeps going the way it's been going. Yes, we do have, we have three in our alliance, three co-chairs. One's Republican. Well, one, we're still looking for a Democrat because we just lost our Democrat co-chair. And the third one is purple, independent, whatever you want to call them. Yes, we do recognize that. In fact, I feel more and more that I'm beginning to lean that way too.
There's a question online. Leslie?
Oh.
You wanna go?
Oh, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Mary Kay, thank you so much because your talk is preaching to this little choir over here. I've been a part of discussions on racism with Pastor Paul, I don't know if he's there, for a couple of years now, and that's been a big issue, is being able to talk to people who have differing opinions and coming to a common ground. And I recently have started a conversation with a gentleman online through a post I made on Front Porch Forum, and he and I have very differing views, although the conversations thus far have been very respectful, and both of us are saying to each other that, you know, that we really appreciate this opportunity to have these discussions and be respectful and learn a little bit. So I am really looking forward to the training on January 10th, and would encourage other people to look into that as well. So thank you for what you're offering. I think it's really critically important right now.
Thank you, and we'll look forward to meeting you.
I'll let you do the
In your group, how do you account for or compensate for the fact that in conversations of bravery, some people come to the table with a far greater risk than others?
They come to the table with what?
With a far greater risk than others?
Okay, yeah. This is probably something I should have mentioned in the talk, but we have what we call our Brave Angels guidelines. So all of our conversations have not a moderator, a facilitator, that people, we read these guidelines. Do you want me to read them all? There's 5. That we understand others and to explain our views, not to convince anyone to change their mind. We will speak for ourselves and not try to speak for everybody else. We will adhere to the spirit of the activities designed. We'll follow standard respectful meeting etiquette, and we agree to maintain confidentiality. Before we start any of our discussions, people have to agree to that. And this facilitator will call you on it if somebody's not following those guidelines. So far we've been told by people in minorities, for whatever group that might be, that they don't feel threatened. They feel okay. And we ask them to let us know if they don't. And what is it in the meeting that didn't make them feel okay? And we'll work on that. Good question, thank you.
The last question.
Your point about trying to convince the other person is well taken. I have an old high school friend that I've discovered, I just reconnected with him recently and realized that he was from the other party. And I've been spending a lot of time trying to present evidence to him. As I say, trying to just deprogram him, and it's not having much effect. And so when I get home, I'm going to send him a text and apologize to him and try to beat him somewhere in between. So thanks for that thought.
Thank you.
I don't know what's happened to my leg, but it's kind of given out. I just want to say that is great advice. Questions of curiosity is the way to go. And I just have to tell you about 2 books. This one I know is in most libraries. It's I Never Thought of It That Way by Monica Guzman. And the other one, Beyond the Politics of Contempt, which is brand new and out. And it gives you 3 different, this one gives you 3 different viewpoints. There are 3 authors that give you 3 different viewpoints on different things. But the best thing that Monica told me was, don't stop the questions of curiosity. Start with maybe not an apology, but, I've been thinking, and I'd really like to know why you came to that conclusion. It's an interesting question that
In thanks and in your honor, we are making a donation to the mentorship program at Williston Central School, right over here. So this is for you to take along.
Okay, thank you.
To know a little bit more about that and with our thanks. And also, we have our ticket drawing, so if you'd like to reach in there. And
So this is
they're all blue tickets, but that doesn't mean anything.
This means I'm gonna make 1 friend and have like 30 friends.
And just read the last 3, that should be enough. Can you?
687.
We have 687, okay.
Ah,
Right there, Barbara. Thank you.
Was she getting money or something?
She gets money.
Oh, great.
And we'll let Mary Kay sit down, but she'll be here during the meeting, and if you want to chat any more, or see the books that she has. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Mary Kay, she gets $10, and then she gets to pick the person who won. She gets $10 for you picking her name, but she also gets to pick a card, which is a chance for $100. So that's what our lottery was.
Oh, okay.
So
I did too.
yeah, so I just wanted to shout out to Dave, because I was gonna mention it. So it's really good that you connected with somebody, and I was gonna mention, I've had a buddy for, my wife and I know him for 40 years since college. And, Christmas cards, and see him a couple times every year, a couple years, and so on. And found out he's the other side. And I know him so well that I can trust him, and he can trust me. And that experience of actually being able to talk to him, you watch what you say so you don't damage the relationship, but you get so much about where the other side is. It helps if both sides are not extreme. If you got extreme views, then you probably never come together, but if you meet in the middle, then it's great. So thanks, and thank you, Mary Kay.
Thank you.
That was awesome. So I'm gonna bring up the breakfast club.
Charlie took over.
I think there's 4 of you though. Charlie, Cal, Aaron, and Leslie. How are you, Charlie?
I'm well.
There you go.
Yeah, the chairman of our committee has been on this for some time. And we've met and we've talked about alternatives, and we've had a hard time coming up with very many alternatives. So I sent a note out day before yesterday asking all of you to reply. And I noticed that our club president and the chairman of our committee didn't reply, but 12 people did. And it was specifically a question about having bagels or donuts for breakfast. I don't like donuts at breakfast time, so in my mind it was really a question about bagels for breakfast. And of the 12 people who replied, 10 said yes, they would like to have bagels for breakfast. 10 said that they would be willing to stop on the way in the morning at Taft's Corners Shopping Center and pick up bagels, and 7 said that they would be willing to stay from time to time after the meeting to clean up, which are the big concerns about having breakfast. Now, based on the number of people that replied, that seems like that's likely to be the direction to go. But I sent the email to 40 people. So to get 12 replies from 40 people is not enough to really make a definitive decision. So my suggestion is that everyone else reply and that we make a decision at our next club meeting. Is that a reasonable suggestion?
Yes.
So hang on. So I'm not sure if this got to go before the board, because it depends on how you collect the money. If you guys collect the money and you don't go through the treasurer, then that's one thing. If you're going to go through that, then this might need, board decision or at least discussion. But we can definitely talk about it on the 8th.
Got to go through the treasurer. All his question.
That was first.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I presented an alternative opinion, which I'd like to have expressed for everybody, which is that we not have any kind of food, no donuts, no bagels, no coffee, then that we meet 15 minutes later every time, and that we just do away with the breakfast component completely, and also that we get 15 extra minutes to eat something at home or bring our coffee with us.
Thank you.
That's all coming.
I like Debbie's suggestion. That's all I can say.
Was that part of your suggestion?
I second Debbie's motion.
Okay.
I did very late see your email, and one thing I did was messaged with Aaron about DoorDash as a possibility to getting bagels here. We couldn't look into it until this morning to find out what that would involve. So I didn't know you had people stepping up to say, oh, we'll stop and get bagels and cream cheese, but there's always that DoorDash option too. And it's like $70 for 2 dozen bagels and 3 containers of cream cheese, and that doesn't include a tip. So just knowing that is also something we could think about for bagels. I like the idea of having some food here, but that's just me.
That would be $53 if someone picked it up.
Yeah.
$20 difference.
Sorry.
I have opinions, but I'm holding back because I just want to check. I dropped the ball so hard it wound up in Ohio, so Charlie picked it up, so I want to thank you for handling that, Charlie. And
Other comments? So Charlie, maybe you and I can figure out how we can have a set of alternatives to put maybe on a board, and we'll have people vote on it, because people might want to say, no, but again, if it's going to be vote, we need probably 50% to say, to go at least one way or the other in those kind of things. So I think we're getting there. So if there's any other options, if anybody has any other option you want to provide to Charlie, please provide them.
I have a couple of other options that I didn't mention, and I'd be happy to put together all of those options along with any of you who inadvertently failed to hit the send key when you typed your emails.
Sarcasm.
He's the gentleman, I guess.
It strikes me that there's a possibility of hitting both notes. The people who want to stay home and have breakfast just do that, and we start the meeting at 7:30. The people who want to have breakfast come in at 7:15 like we always do and break bread.
Which is how it is now.
And my question was there an upper limit to how much money people were willing to spend?
Yeah.
Did you investigate that?
Any comment?
I didn't ask the question.
What I was thinking of was how do other clubs do it? I mean, I think there are other clubs that are having breakfast or some type of meal, and how do they afford that?
Yeah, I can't speak to that. I will say there's a lot of clubs who have no breakfast, but there's also a lot of clubs who go to, every other. They only meet twice a month too. So, you don't want to start becoming a dying club. We want to make sure you're dynamic. So I think we have to do what works for us. You know what I mean? If we just it didn't work with the option that we had, and we just needed another option.
Too expensive.
Yeah, I have an opinion about the idea of having 2 meeting times. To me, that eating together, even for people who don't eat, has a communion value in itself. So I really don't like the idea of having 2 separate start times. But if other people do, I agree that the whole club should decide.
Yeah, just one other thought, because I guess I got the mic, so. Coming at 7:30 is an idea, it's an option. But remember, we also are a club that, you know, should do a meet and greet ahead of time.
Yeah.
So whether you come for breakfast, whether you want to come at 7:30, anybody can come at 7:30 if they want. They don't have to do a meet and greet, but you know, a part of this is just us connecting.
Yeah.
We don't connect during the hour per se. We all then have to go to our busy ways doing whatever we're doing. So that, you know, half an hour from 7 to 7:15 or 7 to 7:30 is the time that we actually kind of get to know each other, see each other, some pleasantries and so on. Thanks, Charlie. All right, couple announcements. You on time? Not a lot of time. So, Jason, could you give us just a brief update? You want to come up? Sure. Save me the steps. So I think we're going to talk about reindeer days.
Reindeer Days, is that what it's called?
It was good.
It was Hot Chocolate World to me.
It was actually a good movie too.
Yeah. There were actually real reindeer there, and we were in the greenhouse with them, so it was pretty exciting. So 2 Saturdays ago, we were at Adams Farm Market. We put a hot chocolate sale together in about a week. I think it went pretty well. Kel made 3 types of homemade chocolate, which is very impressive. I was planning on mix, so he really stepped it up. I think just so we know for future reference, pulling everything together in a week, I thought was pretty easy. Correct me if you think otherwise, but we communicated via email. I think it went pretty well. We were a little nervous at first. They said last year the people had 3 times the hot chocolate we did, and they sold out in 45 minutes. But we did not sell out. So I think it seemed to me like the attendance was a little slow. There was a good rush in the beginning, but then it really tapered down. Personally, I didn't feel like it was Christmas time yet, so I think that might have played a factor into it. I would say we're still waiting on some numbers from the credit card and some expenses, but I would say we probably made about like $150, which I think it was pretty easy. I think it would be even easier next year if we wanted to do it, and expenses were pretty minimal. And I think there's some chance to bring some more revenue in if the attendance was a little higher. I also think if we ever have an Interact Club, this would be a really good event for them to run, because it was all kids under 10 were the ones that were there.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for doing that. Sally?
Can I stand here with
You can stand here. I will come to you.
So first I have to ask Gary, who I hope is actually listening. Gary, is Santa coming to the senior luncheon?
Gary's gone to the back.
Okay, thanks, Gary.
He's at the North Pole.
So I'm just going to quickly read.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gary. I'm going to just quickly read some names of things you've signed up for. For setup, I have Dan, Kel, and Leslie, but I think we're all going to help set up. So serve as a buffet table. Andy, Susan, Marty, Rick, and Chris DiBiasio. Table hosts.
What was that last one, Sally?
Chris DiBiasio.
No. Who put the category for the second?
This is servers at the buffet table. Table hosts, Cindy and Jerry, who aren't here today, but Cindy signed up, mind you, members, and she's not a member. She signed up before any of you did. Howard, Dan, Walter, Elizabeth and Elena, Jason, Jean Kennedy, John Jacobs, and Vince and Armand. Those are the table hosts. Compost workers, Chris and Andrew. Kitchen cleanup, Charlie, with Kel and Jude. This is all very flexible. I'm hoping you all come, you'll all get slotted into something, but that's at least the minimum of what we have. I think we're all ready. As you know, we're not having a meeting that day. And on the day before, on Wednesday, I have helpers at 1:30, Howard, Chris DiBiasio, Walter, and Tracy. Okay, that's it.
Thanks.
Perfect to follow up with Sally. This was the first year that we decided to use the holiday luncheon as a sponsorship opportunity, and we ended up with 4 sponsors. First is, I'm just gonna list them alphabetically, was the Vermont Home and Marine. Thank you, Sherry, for that. The other was Vermont Meat and Seafood Market. The third was a Williston Place, and we had an anonymous gift as well for a total of $800 in donations. Our expenses are about $3,000, I think. The important thing that we need to remember to do is to thank them publicly. I was hoping Lisa would be here today. We should probably have a sign that somebody made so that it's near the registration table, thanking. We don't have to thank Anonymous. We could.
Lisa's online.
We should thank Anonymous. Because Anonymous may know who he or she is. And Sally, you will probably be emceeing the event, so thank you from you would be helpful. A couple of people that I contacted, I did invite them to come. They said they weren't sure if they would or not. Williston Place is, I believe, going to send.
They're hoping for a bus.
They're hoping for a bus for about 12 people.
12 people. Right now they have 3 that signed up.
Oh, okay. So Jennifer Olson, who's the general manager there, was hoping maybe she would come as well. The other thing I'm going to hand out while other announcements are being made has to do with fundraising. The large event committee, the Rotary Community Games, headed up by Andy, will be meeting soon. But we have developed in the fundraising committee a list of prospective donors for this very large event. We're going to be asking for sizable donations. And the money that we raise will be going to the, as I reported before, the Williston Food Shelf, and also to support Rotary's other charitable work and projects. We've got a list of donors. We need your help. This is a homework assignment. We're looking for contact names and addresses for each of these businesses. So I'm going to pass this out. If you know or have a personal connection to that business, please contact us. Please let us know. You can put the information on this form and return it to me. You can email it to me. But we need your help building this list. We know who we want to reach out to. That reaching out will include a letter and a follow-up visit, and we'd like to get those scheduled after the holidays. We'd like to begin that process after the holidays. So you'll hear this announcement repeatedly from me. Thank you, Vince.
Thanks.
So Lisa responded online that well, go ahead, Lucy. You can talk.
Yes, we do have a sign planned in a poster format for the entrance to the room for all the sponsors. Chris, I need the current list of all of our sponsors, plus then the event sponsors, because it'll be 2 different notices at the door to highlight the event sponsors separate from our.
For the holiday luncheon, I'll email those to you, Lisa.
All right, thank you.
Okay, great.
Lisa, do you need logos for
Yes,
those?
logos would be very helpful.
Great. Anything on?
They can all email their logos. Yeah. Here's some.
Anything about?
I got a couple things. Come up here. So if anyone needs any bags to be used to pick up the toys from your barrels, I have them here. So you can pick them up after the meeting. Also, I have some, if you have a business that would benefit from having a poster in their window, that would be great. One was just recently posted at Yellow Mustard, but I have 2 or 3 posters here. We just added another business, so we now have another barrel. I think it's a total of 18, and that was Jersey Mike's. And then finally, I did want to do a quick survey of bags that have been picked up. I heard from Chris, Hannaford's is doing quite well.
Yeah.
Is there, anyway, anyone that has a report on barrels or bags you've picked up? 2, that's total 2 or, okay? 0. I know yours. That's Williston Central School, 0. Any others? Okay, thank you.
So Leslie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leslie?
Hold on, Leslie.
I have been taking registrations and from several people. We have currently 74 people who are planning on coming, and hopefully if Williston Place comes up with the 9 others, we'll have 83. My concern is many people who called still are not aware, which I reinforce, that this is a Rotary function. So I'm just wondering how we can kind of highlight that at our meeting, when we welcome people, because they think it's a church function.
Do you have a comment? Lisa? Lisa, do you have a comment on that?
So I didn't hear the entire question. Could you repeat it, please?
Repeat it. Vince, repeat
I
it.
think Vince meant to say Sally, not Lisa.
No, public image.
Oh, okay.
And she was making signs, right?
Okay. My thought was we put up our banner.
Yeah.
Put up that one and the Williston-Richmond Rotary banner. And then, of course, as president of the club, you're going to introduce the event, so you're going to underscore it. And
I am.
everybody wear your Rotary pins.
Rotary pins, hats, Christmas hats.
Plainly evident.
That's it. Yes.
Would it be reasonable to get the big wheel off the trailer and put it outside the door next Thursday?
We'll show you where it is.
Sorry, I want to go back to the toys for kids. I forgot one very important thing, especially since we're not meeting next week. The last day to pick up your toys from the barrels is December 17th. It's got to be that day because we're going to be picking up all the barrels the following day, and we want them empty of all toys by then. So December 17th. Thank you.
Leslie?
Thank you. I just wanted to say that we did get a new barrel host this year, which is Jersey Mike's, because they saw a barrel at Union Bank and they've been wanting to participate for a couple of years. So they actually called me to get that set up, which I think is really cool. And if you donate to Jersey Mike's barrel, you get a free sandwich.
Leslie, do you want to talk anything brief about the tree lighting? Can you not hear?
It's really hard to hear. Can you just say that again, please?
Tree lighting?
Oh, yes, tree lighting this Sunday. And we will have hot chocolate. However, we will not be as extravagant as Kel, so he and I will have to talk. But so tree lighting, and please bring new mitten, hat, gloves, scarf. The Williston Federated Church is collecting those.
Could you repeat that last part? You were frozen.
Oh, sorry. The Williston Federated Church is collecting new mittens, hats, gloves, scarves. So if anybody feels drawn to do that, please bring something.
Excellent. Do the elves need to say anything? And shortly?
Oh, no, it's not actually. I'll come on. Yeah, we'll come on. So, Dear Santa letters and elf scribes are proceeding apace. Sherry did an amazing job, and I was just going to try and forward it to Debbie so you guys could see, but we'll send an email out. Sherry made a fantastic, beautiful mailbox setup at the Williston Public Library. They've agreed to receive the letters in the mailbox, obviously, but they've also agreed to deliver letters to the kids from Santa so that we don't have to send them through the post, which solves a whole bunch of problems. The majority of them, yeah.
They're not delivering them. The kids are gonna pick them up from the library.
That's what I meant, yeah.
So, the kids are writing their letters, leaving them in the mailbox at the library. And I actually already have 2 Kevin brought in. So we'll need our, first couple of elves to step up to write some letters, response letters. And then I think what's key is how you guys, Kellen, letters back from you. If we want to come to your house to give you the letters, so we'll need to share addresses. So hopefully your address is on Club Runner, and we're going to stalk you, find you, give you letters, pick the letters up, or meet or find ways to get these back, because we want to try to have like a 5-day turnaround on getting the letters back to the library so that the kids can pick them up. So if you're on the ELF committee, just be looking out for some other emails. Jen?
Is it possible, it's a lot of running around, is it possible to take a picture of the letter and
Absolutely.
email it to us?
Yeah, and I think I feel like I said that. I feel like I might have said that in email, but I know I said it in a message, probably to Kel, that's definitely an option. These 2 letters right now, I already took a picture of them. So I can scan it at home and I can send it to the elves, to you guys. And then you can write out your letter. And we just want to get your hard copy, right? It has to go back to the library.
Yeah, so there's a few different and ways of doing it, and in my usual way, I wrote a 14-page document explaining how that works.
Okay.
You actually have 2 documents, the other of which is, and I just haven't run it by you yet, but there's also a list of text you can use if you suddenly your creativity leaves you, or you think to yourself, I don't know how to field this question. There's some helpful samples. And the other thing that we can do is you can always just email us the text of your letter and we'll print it out for you and sign it from Santa. So however it works, we'll have a list of all the different ways you can do it, and you just pick the one that works for you in that particular moment.
And just real quick, these, for instance, these 2 first letters that we got are just pretty much asking for stuff. We're obviously not giving the stuff. So you're just going to have the opportunity, whoever responds to this kind of a letter, to get just really fun and creative and talk about the North Pole.
Questions? I'm just wondering, are you going to send out?
Just
Okay, one person.
Yeah.
We're gonna,
Okay.
when we receive the letters, we're gonna have a list of all the elves, and then we're gonna distribute them through. So for example, if you're like, I can't do any elf letters for the next 5 days, just send us a note and we'll take you out of rotation so that everybody does equal amounts of letters. And when somebody says, I can't do any more of those, give me a, Xbox letter, then we'll send it to someone else. That's all right.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm still a little confused.
We probably are.
What is the time frame? What time frame are we operating?
I'm gonna send you that document and you will not be confused after that.
Okay. Do you know what that time frame is?
100%.
Yeah, the last letters can go into the mailbox on the Saturday before Christmas, which I think is the 20th. So we're making that the cutoff so that we can get the letters back to the library so the kids can pick them up.
Are you sending out a sample letter of how to respond with,
Yes.
make sure, okay.
I've got 14 pages I'm gonna send to you.
Okay.
You'll be sorry you asked.
Kel and Sherry have actually asked for it to be turned around within 3 days.
3 to 5 days.
Because remember, they have to do the organization, they have to make sure that you guys got it back to the library, or however it gets back to the library. Because most important, no kid should be without a letter. That's critical.
Yeah. And I mean, if we get 20 letters on that last, if we get like 20 letters on that last Saturday, and we only have 3 people that can help, then Kel and I are gonna be writing a lot of letters at that point. Like, we're not gonna let any kid
All right,
go with
so
Leslie has her hand up again.
Leslie.
It's Armin, actually. Jason, can you leave the cooler in the closet, please?
Yes. What was right here? We'll leave it in the closet.
He's got it.
Thank you.
Say yes.
Yes, Jason said yes. I don't know if I'm saying yes, but yes.
Whatever it is.
All right, last announcement is that there is a district event this week. Saturday, the 13th. No, it's on the 13th, which is Google Market. I Googled that. It looks like a city hall. If you've never been to a district event, they're good. They're really fun. They're informational. There's no sign up. There's no cost. So if you just want to learn a little more about some of the different committees, if you're a team leader, go to it. If you're just interested, please go to it. So, Chris.
Yeah, you're gonna make everybody late for getting out of here, right?
It's the spirit.
It's already